got John in Coos Bay, Oregon.
Hey, Matt. Hi, Jeff.
I'm good.
How many times do we have to go through this stuff? Anyway, wow.
How many times are there?
Oh, I think it's infinity. But anyway, I wanted to address something that Jeff brought up at the beginning of the show, and that's just the idea that, you know, kind of the, frankly, the inherent dangers of electing someone that is a hardcore fundamentalist believer. Because, you know, you were earlier saying, you know, it's okay for them to believe whatever they want to believe, but they need to make rational decisions for us all. And I think the only problem with that is that I don't know how you ask someone who literally believes in the truthfulness or the reality, the metaphysical reality of the Bible, to divorce their decision-making, you know, process from that belief, because they really believe they're making these decisions in reality.
That's a darn good question, and it's an issue for the voters.
Yeah, it's frustrating because ultimately they think that they're doing the best thing, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, obviously we're concerned it's crazy.
They're welcome to think they're doing the best thing. They're welcome to believe whatever they want, and voters are welcome to judge their capabilities on that basis.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is an issue that's come up over and over again. For me, this is, idealistically speaking, it's a much simpler issue than anybody makes it out to be, and it's really simple. As an individual, you are entitled to have whatever beliefs you have. You are entitled to follow the dictates of your conscience. As an elected representative, you are expected and required to set those aside when it comes to policy decisions, because you represent more people who have a wider range of views than your particular view. And everybody should be given the option to run for office and demonstrate that they can do this, and as soon as we find out that they can, that's when they should be removed. That's when it should be clear that we don't need to elect this individual again or possibly impeach them if their decisions have actually led to harm because they relied on their religion. I don't see this as a huge deal in most cases, because quite honestly, at least in the United States and at least among Christians, most of them, I'm sorry, their religion actually doesn't play that big of a role in the decision-making process for real issues.
But wouldn't you say the last 8 years, Matt, is a little bit of a reputation of that position?
No.
Really?
I'd say that that's a specific individual. I was talking about most. I was talking about, it doesn't matter. I was talking about most. What I said was, for most Christians, this isn't.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll agree with that.
For that specific one, it was, which is why I wouldn't have voted for it.
Which is why we need to, scrutinize political figures carefully and either vote for them or not as reason dictates.
The problem, of course, is that if you happen to share the religious views of the majority, you are pretty much free to violate that expected trust that I was talking about to your heart's content, because you have the voting bloc to continue to get elected. And then you're only going to be, you're essentially going to be there until either, term limits kick you out, or until you do something so egregious that even your base who thinks just like you says, okay, we've had enough. That's why Rick Perry will be governor of Texas as long as he wants to.
Well, that's why I'm so encouraged by the recent trends, and actually I think that that is the rise in the non-believer or the people who don't identify themselves as Christian in particular, I guess. Yeah. That's why I'm encouraged by that. I actually think we'll see in the next few years that should continue to rise. I guess that's the expectation anyway.
Yeah, James Dobson, Focus on the Family, has now twice made major public announcements that the religious right has failed, that they've lost, that they can get no traction now, that it's pretty much over until they can get back into the seat of power. And that's some progress.
I don't think it's remotely true. I think it's a way to bring in money and re-energize people.
In this latest one, he prefaced his statement saying, "We are not asking you for money to fund anything. We're not going to give you the numbers of people to call to complain. We're not going to do any of this stuff because there's nothing to do." But at that point, I start taking him seriously. When fundamentalists start, not asking for money, they're serious.
You silly, gullible individual. You. What better way to get money than to say, look, I'm not asking you for money. For years they've been doing it. You get the preacher. I'm not, this money isn't for me. It's for Jesus. No, that's step one. And then it's, I'm not asking for your money. I don't want to give you a penny. You know how much money they get after they say that? Just as much as they got before when they said it was for Jesus.
Okay.
I have facts and figures to make that.
I stand corrected.
To make that up. Did you get that? I'm just pulling this out of my.
I'm not corrected. In fact, Matt was lying.
I'm being dishonest. However, I do think that's the case.
Okay.
They're not going to turn money away.
No. I think as long as they think there's any scrap of a chance of continuing to make a career at this, they're going to keep trying to do it.
It's like the coach, that he's tried motivating him and kicking him in the butt and everything else, and finally it's just, well, I don't know what to do with you guys anymore. I give up. And of course, then that gets the team together and say, no, we can't let the great Coach Dobson down. We've got to actually do this, and it will.